What happens when you give John Kramer false hope, testing his mortality, fueling him to test not only the will to live, but to reawaken? It took me some time to process what I saw. See what I did there? Yeah, had to throw in some kind of cheesy Saw joke. Anywho, let's play a game. Let's see if I can review this film without spoiling anything. Live or die, I'll make my choice. So to rank this film along with the other Saw films in the franchise, that will end up being the most highly asked question. I can feel it. Well, I just can't help but be that person who does not want to touch any of the sequence of the Saw films. I will place this though way above Jigsaw and Spiral. That's a given. There's elements to this film that felt more dramatic, more human than all of the others. With Kramer dealing with his terminal illness, people latched on to his desperation and used it to gain for themselves. But I don't think they fully understood who they were messing with. We all know from the trailer that Kramer is fueled by good old-fashioned revenge. The belief to exact revenge on this group of people who scammed dozens of fragile souls who were given the same false hope as Kramer. Kramer became the unsung hero in a sense. Moving on, I feel like the pacing was quite slow. It was fine that it was slow, but maybe the way the story was placed made it slower, perhaps? I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just felt very slow at times, which is not something you normally say about the pace of a Saw film. The majority of this film had me hooked, though, but the ending was off to me somehow. Something just didn't feel Saw-like to me. I don't know. It's hard to say a lot when you can't say much. The filter on this film definitely felt like a Saw film. I will definitely say that. Fantastic quality. The traps were cringy in all the right ways for the most part. There's just a couple that I have some issues with. Speaking of, just like the tongue trap in Spiral, I think I can free my tongue now and speak some spoilers. Yeah? Okay, now we can get into this. Let's get neck deep in rotting pig carcasses like Judge Holden in Saw 3. Ew. I love that they put the spotlight on Kramer in this one. This was Tobin Bell's time to shine. He was nothing short of exceptional, as always. He makes Jigsaw. He knows how to calculate moves before they are made. He's always 2 steps ahead of his test subjects because he is an expert at determining human behavior. The story for this was much more human in this installment, focusing more on John Kramer as the human rather than the mastermind that is Jigsaw. He is shown as almost fragile, almost vulnerable and weak, desperate, but that changes when he discovers the ugly truth of their wicked scam. So John kidnaps those who were involved in this scam. He rights the wrongs that were done to him. So he recruits his well-renowned accomplice, Amanda Young. The dynamic between these two is as much wholesome as it is somber. Amanda is taught by John the ropes so that she can take over when he is gone, so that his legacy can live on. As it all unfolds, the ending still has me really thinking, how do I feel about this? Cecilia, the main brain behind the scam, the one who orchestrated it all, cold-hearted and only for herself. Thinking for 1 second she could outsmart John Kramer? That frustrated me. I knew Kramer had a trick up his sleeve, but fuck, why did it take so long to get to the satisfaction of his masterful ruse? The way it played out wasn't so smart to me. They were playing the Saw theme to create the building of tension, but it just wasn't building as intense as it should have. For the most part, the traps had me at the edge of my seat. Some I truly cringed and squirmed in my seat, but then there were a couple of traps I was like, why was this so easy? Gabriella, for one. Why was hers so easy? The others had to sacrifice parts of their body, while she just had to smash her ankle and her wrist while getting an overcooked tan. Also, Amanda. For one, I hated her hair. I'm just throwing that out there right here and now. It had to have been a wig. I also didn't always care for how they portrayed her in this one. They made her too weak at times. Yes, she is in a tough position where her mentor is dying and she has huge shoes to fill. But Amanda always seems to fake it till she makes it. She was too fragile at times. The ending. Now we can talk about the ending. Parker Sears, who was part of the scam, partner and lover, alongside Cecilia. Why anyone would trust her is beyond me, but hey. He just happens to be outside to be at Cecilia's rescue. Cecilia believes she turned the tables on John and on Amanda. But silly girl. John knew that they wouldn't play by the rules, so they easily fall right into his trap. I loved that, yes, but it took so damn long that the novelty of it wore off pretty damn quick for me. Some of the traps were so far in between. I would have liked it more if they kept the ball rolling, one after the other. They prolonged it so much. Now, let's get to the part that excited me beyond belief. Henry thought he was going to get away scot-free, but no. The infamous bathroom is shown, and then we are greeted with a familiar voice. A very familiar voice. Yup. Hoffman! I was so elated to see Hoffman. I loved his line, too. You think you could actually fuck with John Kramer? Oh, yes. Yes. I cheered when I was at the theater. I cheered. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I could not contain myself. So my overall thoughts? I enjoyed it. It is a great addition to the Saw franchise. Are there flaws? Yes, but looking at it overall, it was done better than Jigsaw and Spiral. It fits right in with the other 7 Saw films. I'm still leaving Jigsaw and Spiral on the outskirts of the Saw franchise. Saw X is invited to the Saw party, but those other 2 need special passes to get in. So before I rant, I think I covered everything. This is the end of the game. For now. This is Carey Craves Cinema. Stay geeky for movies, my friends.